and you see it in politics, you see it in sports. People lie, sure, but if it doesn't fit your narrative, it's not the good enough answer. But we told you on this show yesterday, we told you on Luchador on Sunday, and we've been saying it for a while, that Jimbo was not going to take that LSU job, and not from insider information, not from what Jimbo had told us, just from knowing the guy, knowing the situation here. He emphatically says he's not going anywhere. You could not have written a better script for Jimbo yesterday, the way he delivered that. And it was off the cuff. I'm sure he was prepared for the question, but there was no script. He was just talking. A&M is a better job than Florida State. Sorry, Danny Cannell. The proof is here. You had a couple Hall of Fame coaches that got you guys some national championships, but this is a better job. I want you guys to listen to Jimbo yesterday when he was asked about it early on in the press conference.
I'm gonna say this right now, and I don't want. It's in October right now. I love being here. This is the job I wanted. I'm being here. I got a great contract. I have an unbelievable chancellor, have an unbelievable president, unbelievable AD. That we're building something. We're recruiting great players. I really believe we're on the process of building something great. I plan on being here and fulfilling this contract and doing everything. My family has roots here. I got ranches here. I hunt here. I love everything about this place. And you don't and listen. And I say that because listen, there's nothing going on there. There's nothing happening there. And I don't be disrespectful to anybody else. I coached there. It was a great place. We won national championships. It is one of the best, best places. It's a wonderful place. I love being an A&M, and I plan on being an A&M here and fulfilling my whole contract. I love everything about this place. And let me tell you something else. And the way this place has embraced me and my family, and including our foundation, the things that are going on with our foundation, the way the people have embraced it, the way people have done everything here in College Station. I love everything about the people here, the administration here, and everybody in charge here, and the people who run this organization. And I love it here.
Yeah, I love it too. Jimbo with great words there. And with that, we start the Go Hour with Olin Buchanan, our Heisman Trophy voter and good friend. Good morning to you, OB.
Good morning.
Man, I could run that on repeat, and we'd be fine. Everything that we needed to hear, I think we heard.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I needed to hear some more.
You need to hear. Well, you followed up.
There's two words that he used that the old reporter, the old grizzled reporter in me,
yeah,
it kind of peaked. There was, maybe two statements. It's October, and the other one is, I plan on being here. He didn't say I will be here. I plan on being here. And the reason that piques my ears there is I've been around long enough to I've seen coaches. I'm not saying this is the case with Jimbo. I think he was as emphatic as you could have hoped. But I've seen enough coaches say, "Oh, I haven't talked to anybody," where their wife or their agent has. "Oh, I have no interest in this job at this time." Those kind of things, and they leave a little bit of a crack to wiggle out. Now, I'm not saying that's what Jimbo did, but because of that, when I had a chance to ask him, I said, "So would you wouldn't take a call from Scott Woodward just to make sure that absolutely that I wanted to hear you say, I am not leaving Texas A&M." In his mind,
he said that.
I'm sure, but I think there's still there's this faction of Aggies that absolutely want to know that he's absolutely committed for the long haul here.
How many times did he say, "I love it here" in that 1 minute clip? I'd say 3-4 times, perhaps. Mm-hmm. And I wrote down some of the things he said. I love being here. This is the job I wanted. I have a great contract. That's 3 right there,
wanted,
right?
Past tense.
Yep. Unbelievable chancellor.
Yeah.
Unbelievable president.
Okay.
Athletic director. We're at 6 right now. Recruiting great players. In the process of building something great. Mm-hmm. My family has roots here. I love everything about it. I'm at 10. I love being at A&M. This place has embraced me and my family. The Kids First Fund, which I think people
has made a big impression on you.
Yeah. And I love it here. That's just in the opening statement. To me, look, we can say, "Yeah, you said this, but it could have meant that." Maybe. To me, that was a declaration to the world. I'm not interested in LSU. I'm interested in staying here. Maybe he.
So
doesn't-
then he shouldn't have mattered. It shouldn't have bothered him to be pressed on it just a little bit.
I don't think he was bothered. I
don't think so either.
Yeah, I don't think he was bothered.
But again, the old reporter in me says, "Okay, let's nail it down." And how many times with your wife you say, "Hey, we're gonna meet at so and so for lunch or dinner," or Tori's over there probably had a date. Hey, we set up a date, but then you call back just one more time, hey, just to make sure that we're still on, right?
Right.
That's kind of where I was going with that. Let's make sure that there was no crevice left.
Yeah, I think that clip would be on repeat if you were to leave this year everywhere, and people would be making fun of him for being a liar. And
they did that to Nick Saban.
Sure,
in Miami.
sure. And then he won a bunch of national championships, and it's fine. But he strikes me as somebody that his word means something.
I agree, and I don't believe he's going to.
You're just saying he left a little.
Not even intentionally.
Right.
But I'm asking questions when I'm there. It's not for me. I'm asking questions for this Aggie populace that there has been some angst. We see it on our board, whether or not, would he go? What would we do? Da-da-da. Now, not everybody. I'm thinking a lot of Aggies on our board, like, oh, he's not leaving. Of course, that's the same thing the Florida State people said.
Yeah.
So why not try to get us absolutely sure? It was a great soundbite, and it should make you feel really good. And the date was set. Let's confirm just one more time to make sure we got.
And when you pressed him again, do you feel that you've got the answer you needed?
I would have liked to have pressed him even further, but when I said, hey, you wouldn't take a call from Scott Woodward because we're going to kind of interrupt, hey, I don't want to talk about it. And I said, so you wouldn't take, and he said, well, I take calls from him all the time because we're friends, but I can't remember the exact quote, but he said, but yeah, I'm here at A&M.
Yeah.
I think just by reinforcing the previous comment, I went from a 99% feeling that there's nothing to worry about to 99.9%.
Yeah.
It's never 100%.
It's never 100%, but this is to me, it was as close as it could be. I got everything that I needed. Maybe I want to see it. Maybe I want to believe that, right? Maybe that's why. But I don't think. Could he have said some different things? Sure. But I think you can say different things. He is a conversationalist.
Yeah, he's a football coach. He's not a politician.
Right? So he's just telling you what he thinks at the moment. And if you were to say, come on, man, this is what I meant. And I think that's what he meant. Let's set up the topic, by the way. Today we were asking, did you guys think that was good? Or are you satisfied with Jimbo's comments there? You can do that on the A&B text line, 979-693-1150, or you can even call us on the BCSI hotline, 979-693-1150. All that information, let's say hi around the room and say hello to my good friend Dalton Hughes. Good morning, Dalton.
Oh, good morning. Happy Tuesday. How are y'all?
We're doing well. So I take this moment to do a preemptive strike to make fun of myself, but really to start off with you. This morning, you looked at me and you said, it looks like I'm going to a club, the night at the Roxbury. And I knew.
You've told me about your favorite nights, your famous nights out with the Mavericks, and that's what that shirt looks like.
Yeah.
It looked like you borrowed that from like 2003 Steve Nash.
Man.
This is brand new. Not brand new. Within the last 14 months, Stitch Fix hooked the brother up. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it. They pick stuff for you and they send it to you. And I'm shooting the show up to the second college football. And I'm sorry I didn't wear a T-shirt today, which I know is customary here at TexAgs. But I wanted to have a little professional look. And
that's why we hired you.
And you made me feel like I was 2 feet tall.
Did I? That was supposed to be a compliment when I said it. But.
And what you've done now is opened up the world who's watching on YouTube, TexAgs.com, even listening on The Zone right now. They're like, I got to go see this shirt. Olin, does this shirt look like a 1970s club shirt to you?
No, because I know all about those 1970s club shirts.
Does it look like a 1994
No,
club shirt?
it's a nice shirt.
Okay.
It's a nice shirt. Why did I make my voice go up like that?
I don't know. I was curious about that
It's
myself.
a nice shirt.
Maybe it's just I don't know what a nice shirt is.
Yeah, well,
it's probably that.
Dalton, dressing up means he's got on socks.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
don't hate.
I wouldn't take my fashion advice from Dalton.
Hey, one thing don't do. Don't wear shoes without socks, people. Right? Just buy the little small socks that covers it. Oh, Olin, those things must smell terrible. Oh, let's go to the...
You think? Here,
No,
go
please,
on.
please. Let's not play that game here. Oh, my gosh. That, like, chewing and all these things, they're getting to me. Tori, what's going
up?
on?
Good morning. How are we feeling today?
I'm all right. How are you?
Good. You staying warm?
I'm just staying.
You're just staying.
I'm just
well,
staying.
it's getting colder, so that's what I was trying to make.
It's like
but-
70.
It's going to be
Yeah, it was
81
like-
about.
Thanks, guys.
1
I was
o'clock.
just trying to get y'all
Just
ready.
trying to
for
get the
cold.
conversation
Okay. Let's get into some headlines. I have Texas A&M women's tennis duo of JC Goldsmith and Tatiana Macarow won their doubles semifinal match and fell in the championship match of the ITA Texas Regional at the Bayard H. Friedman Tennis Center yesterday. And also in golf, Texas A&M's Zoe Slaughter tied the lowest round in women's golf program history, shooting an 8 under 64 in the final round of the Jim West Challenge yesterday. And I have a text from Matt Santano saying that he's very satisfied. Jimbo knocked it out of the park. He can't control what the media members will write or say. He controlled what is his part.
That's embarrassing.
I will put the chance on Jimbo about leaving about the same as I do the chances of A&M losing to Prairie View. I know it's technically could happen, but the odds are so remote, I'm not going to worry about it.
There's another text that I want to read. Tor, do you want to read Dave and Edmond?
David Edmond said, quote, "There's nothing there." Close quote.
I read it from afar thinking he thought that Jimbo said nothing there, but what he's saying is there's nothing there talking about LSU. Now,
Talk about LSU pursuing him or interest there.
And Matt Moscona, who I'm going to have on the Up to the Second College Football show later on today, he is reporting that LSU isn't interested in Jimbo. I don't believe that to be the case. I believe that they probably know that he's not attainable. So, and that contract also makes him a little unattainable as well. Like, that's part of the beauty of the extension was he's not going to be lured to other places. Yes, can LSU afford 10 years, $10 million a year? Sure, but I don't think that's the direction they're going with this hire.
Yeah, and I would not be surprised if one of those many calls that Scott Woodward makes to his friend, Jimbo Fisher, at some point he says, so, Jimbo, as a friend, would you be interested in coming over to, if we have to fire Orgeron? I'm talking about maybe last summer.
Right.
And he said, no, I'm not.
I'm good.
So, okay. Well, then we won't pursue. Then we're not interested if you're not interested.
To me, it's, I think it's done, right? He's not going. And I'm trying to think the only other place that I would be worried about is Alabama one day.
Or Samford, if Mama calls.
Mama calls, yeah.
Yeah.
Like what program other than LSU would have scared you? Just
here's the thing. And now I'm, maybe he would be interested in Alabama if that ever came open, but and Jimbo seems to me like he values his private time.
Mm-hmm.
Because he even said the other day, I don't get on social media. I don't want people knowing what I'm doing all the time. And at Alabama, you're the story 365 days a year. I mean, every day. You can't go anywhere. I'm sure it's pretty much the same time. He goes out to dinner and people say, hey, Jimbo, how you doing?
Yeah.
But, Dennis Francione would tell me that he and his wife would be at dinner and somebody would come up and sit down, uninvited. Hey,
Right.
Coach, just want to tell you, we're rooting for you. And you're like,
dude, I'm having dinner.
so I don't know. I don't even know if Alabama would lure him away.
Yeah, but I guess what I'm saying, that would be the only job
right.
that
or
I
an
think,
NFL.
I don't see him as an
I
NFL
don't see
guy.
it either. I'm just trying to think what would you want? I just think that maybe West Virginia. No, why would he go home to West Virginia? I'm just trying to think of what
At this
would be
point in his
out
career.
there. And especially if he keeps building this program and the trajectory it has.
When we come back on the show, I want to talk about the media. Guys, you tried to warn me, and I didn't know. I saw things from afar. So, yeah, I'm coming out kind of like a hip-hop rap song. It is now, though, a moment for the Association of Former Students. You could do a rap song about them. I couldn't do it because I can't rhyme that well, but they do great things, and you should be a part of it if you're not. For over 140 years, the financial gifts from that Aggie Network have empowered the association to be here, to be there, and to be everywhere for all Aggies everywhere. A&M, Texas Aggies, you name it. And they have provided so many different scholarship funds and just money and just pure love for Aggies everywhere, from mental health programming, student muster, study abroad scholarships. None of that is possible without your help and those gifts from you, the Aggie. For about $100 a year, we're talking $9 a month, which is not expensive. You get the decal, the plaque, the Texas Aggie magazine, plus you're continuing in the oldest, most inspiring tradition of Aggies helping other Aggies. To learn more about the impact of the association, to get involved or make a gift, visit aggienetwork.com/giving.
Find out first, get scores, updates, and more. Follow the Zone 1150 AM and 93.7 FM on Twitter. Zone 1150.
Question. Would you pick a chain barbecue place over a hometown joint? Do you root for East Coast universities instead of the local team? Nah, then why choose a big Wall Street bank? A&B started in 1892. 5 generations later, we're still owned and operated by the same Texas family. We support this community. We value your privacy. We make quick decisions, and we hate red tape. We answer to you, not Wall Street. Bank with A&B. Family owned, Texas proud. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Since 1957, Slovačić Sausage in Snook has been making the best tasting sausage in Texas from the same family recipe. Slovačić is the official sausage of Texas A&M Athletics. Whether it's from the grill to the family gathering or from the pit to the neighborhood party, serve the sausage voted best in the Brazos Valley. Serve Slovačić. Be sure to come in and check out their full-service meat market, relax on the front porch, or grab some fresh kolaches from their bakery on your way out. Slovačić Sausage, Highway 60 in Snook.
People join Walk MS to raise awareness and funds that change the world for everyone affected by multiple sclerosis. MS attacks the brain and spinal cord. It's the most common neurological disease leading to disability in young adults. Walk MS brings communities together, creating teams with friends, loved ones, and coworkers to rally around those we care about and end MS forever. Join us. Together we are stronger. Walk MS fundraising accelerates research breakthroughs and life-changing breakthroughs. It will take all of our passion, determination, and fundraising to end MS forever. Together, we can change the world for people with MS. Join us. Register today, start a team, and raise funds at walkms.org.
The Bellucci Hour Happy Hour is a must part of any Aggie football season. Join Billy Lucci of TexAgs and Zach Taylor, the Infomaniac, every Monday and Thursday at 6 at the Tap, or listen in right here on Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. The Bellucci Hour Happy Hour every Monday, Thursday at 6 is brought to you by King Ranch Saddle Shop. Also brought to you in part by B&B Automotive. It's the Bellucci Hour Happy Hour. Game day on the Zone starts 3 hours before kickoff with the Twin Peaks pregame show, and it's powered by TexAgs.com. Game day on the Zone is brought to you in part by Gage Gandy Bail Bonds, Bobcat of the Brazos Valley, Tradition Mobile One Lube, and Frontier Communications. After listening into the pregame show, you can hear every Aggie football game, home road national championship, right here on Sports Radio 1150 and 93.7 FM.
Yeah, this song fits the shirt. I don't care. TexAgs Radio presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Should tell you guys a little programming update. First off, our topic, to restate it, is how satisfied are you with Jimbo's comments yesterday from the press conference? I thought he did a great job. I'd love to hear from you about it. You can call us up at 979-693-1150 there on the BCSI hotline, or you can text the A&B text line by that same number, 979-693-1150. We have Shareen Williams joining us at 8:35. Tom Hart, 9 o'clock here on the program. Andrew Monaco stopping by studio at 9:35. We'll get Tomas Romo to book it there at 10:05 and get to know South Carolina. Colin Taylor of Gamecock Central will be joining us at 10:35. So we do have a loaded show. I do want to talk about why media guys suck especially ones that I used to think they were pretty good, and my opinion has really changed on a lot of them. But before that, we go to the BCSI hotline. We are joined by Drew in Waco, who wants to talk about Jimbo's comments. Good morning to you, Drew.
Good morning. How are y'all?
Good.
It kind of piggybacks on what Olin was talking about yesterday with the caste system.
Mm-hmm.
I was very happy with what Jimbo said. I don't know what else he could have said, but these national media people, and I have opinions. I'll keep them quiet as to why they think this way. They just don't think we have the right to have a elite program, much less an elite coach. And it frustrates every time they just assume that, no one's ever happy at A&M. No one's ever, despite all the resources we have, despite what we can give a coach. When we pulled Jimbo from Florida State, we pulled Schnoschnagel from TCU, all frontline coaches, so we can get whoever we want. And we have as much right to a good coach as anybody else. I just don't. They always they make it sound like we are lower tier, lower class, and anytime that any perceived top program comes calling, that somebody will just automatically leave this place.
Well, to my knowledge,
it's only happened once.
To my knowledge, only one
Billy
football
Gillespie's
coach.
the only one that has.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But I was going to say, to my knowledge, only one football coach in the last 50 or about 70 years left A&M for another job. One head football coach, that'd be Bear Bryant.
Right.
On top of that, A&M got Dennis Franchione. It didn't work out, but they got him to leave Alabama. They got Jackie Sherrill to leave Pittsburgh back when Pittsburgh was a national power. A&M kept R.C. Slocum when LSU and the NFL offered him jobs. So this whole narrative that A&M is somehow a place that college football coaches are, would be quick to leave, is history shows it's inaccurate. In fact, history shows it's a place that really good coaches want to come to.
Right. It's just every time somebody has a big opening, Jimbo's got to leave there. He can't be happy at A&M. There's no way anybody can be happy at A&M.
Appreciate your phone call, Drew. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Have a good day. The reason I was a little quiet during that, because I was trying to find some of the comments that I found yesterday. And so I guess talking about the media for a second, a lot of them suck, man. And maybe we suck too. I don't know. But I took this gig without really watching the way college football media types do their job. I just kind of accepted it for their job. The Bruce Feldmans of the world, the Andy Staples, who I think does a great job, by the way. The Barrett guy, I don't know.
Barrett Salee.
Yeah, that dude. Danny Cannell, who I think actually does a really good job on the morning show. But I didn't really think that they would tweet so much or put so much information out there that to me sounded slanted. And it comes across that way. It really, and I didn't see it beforehand. I just accepted the way they do their work and kind of moved on. I guess I didn't really realize but some of the things I've read since I've been at this gig kind of has hurt the way I look at these guys. I think Tim Brandle's a very nice guy, and I didn't really realize that he had this, beef with A&M. I had him on the show. I heard about it, whatever. He's a nice fellow, and he's obviously a legend in the broadcasting ranks. But yesterday he tweeted out, and I know he had a little bit of a response. So sometimes you can come off a little too emphatic when pledging your love for where you are. We shall see. It's the SEC, and no matter the stop you makes, it just means more, whatever that means. So again, saying you could be a little too emphatic. Okay. That's what we're going to read into it. Pete Thamel, who started this, started, but he's one of the guys who...
One of the original.
Yeah. He tweets over the top on A&M, they forgot to tag LSU football, talking about it when Jimbo was talking about I love being here. Just some of the things that I'm seeing to get the likes and the retweets and whatnot. There's another one I found that just bugged me. I don't see it here on me, but Bruce Feldman had some stuff as well. Danny Cannell yesterday there's this thing on Twitter, which I'm sure you haven't seen, a bunch of flags.
Yeah, I saw it.
Which means, I guess, opposite, I guess, of what it
Well,
means.
he's raising the red flags,
And Danny Cannell, I love this place. I have a great contract. I love being at A&M. I intend to fully fulfill my contract, Jimbo Fisher. And it's I guess Jessica O'Donnell, Hecky Jessie, who is a social media influencer, an Aggie graduate, by the way. She says, cry, why would I cry? I'm thrilled we don't have to deal with the rumors every single year. Yeah, I'm good. Go enjoy that. The way media respond to schools that they don't like bugs the living crud out of me.
Yeah. It's funny. I was a national college football writer for 6 years, and I was too busy not to like or not like anybody. I just had to get facts and get them out there. But when I came here and I started seeing things directly at A&M, just looking at things that only affected A&M or only included A&M, I did see a bias and a slant. And there's always, I saw one from a guy today, and he said, he says he's going to stay there, but what about when Texas joins? What's A&M going to look like? They're going to look a lot like they look now.
Yeah.
Conferences, the SEC. I've always said this: the SEC, being in the SEC, is a tool. It doesn't land you the player, but it is a tool. So what ultimately gets the player is the relationship with the coach and your ability to develop them and get them into the NFL. And Jimbo has shown the ability to have great relationships with players and to develop them. So, but there are those out there that's always constantly wanting to create this illusion that, somehow A&M is going to be a less attractive job when Oklahoma and Texas join. So maybe Jimbo better think about that to get out.
Yeah. By the way, I didn't give Jessica her complete prop. She works for the Blaze as well. She's been in several other spots, but she is the one who responded to Danny. And
you know what I heard there, guys?
What's that?
Danny Cannell is more okay with losing to Jacksonville State than having a coach that other people might want to hire.
Great point, Dalton. See, today, other than you being rude to me in the morning, I think that's you brought some value, some real show content there. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Every 12th day, I'll give you something on air.
This is Dalton. When he's really busy, don't come to me on the air. I'm too busy. So I'm glad this morning that he had time for us. Dalton, you're doing a great job, bud. Big hug to you.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, this is getting awkward.
You and Grandpa are doing great in the studio.
Why do you gotta go after him like that?
Because I'm old enough to be his grandpa, I guess.
Is he?
I do it because I know it gets a rise out of Olin.
It doesn't get I'm like accepted.
In a good way. Like, I know when I come in there in the morning and make that joke, you start your morning off with a laugh.
I'm old.
Well, I mean, isn't it all relative?
My relatives are old, too.
Estelle Getty is old, if she's still around, I think.
No, she's not, actually.
Well, thoughts and prayers.
She was.
Betty White's still around, right?
She is.
Hey, we're way late for a break.
Let's go.
Louis probably upset, which...
He's old, too.
Well, he's like my age. Thanks. It is now time for a break. It's TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on The Zone. The Twin Oaks Landfill Household Hazardous Waste and Computer Collection event is Saturday, October 30th at the Texas A&M University Service Building next to Veterans Park. Visit twinoakshhw.com for complete details. You and your family are invited to a spooktacular walk for a cure on Saturday, October 30th, benefiting a local child. The fundraiser starts at 9 a.m. at Castlegate. Find the spooktacular walk on Facebook for more information. Sponsor a flag for $50 in the Bryan Rotary Field of Valor, a 1,000 flag salute to service on display at Veterans Park this November. Visit bryan-rotary.org to reserve a flag. Listen to the Astros postseason run on Sports Radio 1150 AM 93.7 FM and select games on Gospel 97.3 FM thanks to Kelly Burt Dozer. You can hear the Astros on The Zone and Gospel 97.3 FM. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
The end of the tax year is near, so if you need maintenance or replacement parts for your construction equipment, WPI has you covered. Regardless of your machine's make or model, WPI can help. From custom hydraulic hoses, O-rings, and depth to teeth, buckets, and blades. Any part, filter, fluid, battery, or lighting for every brand of equipment is at your local WPI. Visit Jesse James at WPI's new location in Bryan, Highway 21 East at Marino Road, or click WPI.com.
Here's Brad Beard of Intercon.
When we started Intercon in early 1991, we were well aware that we would be competing with some companies that use unscrupulous techniques to make a quick sale, such as bait and switch, or 40% off if you commit today, or misleading, incomplete quotes. Intercon's practice is to be completely honest and encourage prospective customers to talk to our former customers. We've encouraged customers to get multiple quotes. We are confident and proud of our value proposition for windows, glass, and solar screens. We never want anyone to rush into a decision they will regret in the future. Just remember, warranties are only as good as the people who provide them and are servicing the area when situations arise. This is our home and only marketplace, and we will protect our home turf. You've probably heard the saying, the buck stopped here, and that is with me, Brad Beard, president and co-owner of Intercon LLC.
Whether you have new construction or an existing home, let the fine folks from Intercon help your home energy efficiency year-round. Call Brad Beard of Intercon today at 823-3639. That's 823-3639.
On Sports Talk, Chip visits with Alabama coach Nick Saban following the upset loss to the Aggies.
Coach, you've got guys on your roster that had not experienced a loss before. How have they responded in practice, and what's your message been to them this week?
Well, I think you're right about that. Sometimes you want to remember the feeling you get when you don't have success.
Sports Talk, undefeated since 1994, only on 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
It is TexAgs Radio. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We are here in the Rollo Insurance Studio, and we are celebrating Jimbo Fisher's great press conference. I'm saying celebrating. I think it was great. Olin was satisfied with it. But let's see what Shareen Williams thinks about it. Our great Aggie friend, Pro Football Talk, brings it every week. Good morning to you, Shareen.
Good morning to you guys. How are you doing today?
Good. So I didn't mean to put a thought in your head, but I thought Jimbo hit it out of the park. And typically as a reporter, I'm not supposed to tell you what I think and ask the question, but I'm going to ask you, what did you think of yesterday?
Yeah, I thought it was a really good press conference. Of course, it's what all Aggies wanted to hear. And, I would be shocked if Jimbo left for LSU or anywhere else, frankly. I think he's very happy here. Everything's going great. I think everyone sees that he can win here. And we all knew that. It just took the right situation, the right coach, the right everything. It's going to take the right year to do it. And unfortunately, last year you didn't beat Alabama. You only had the one loss. If you had that season this year, you're probably in the playoffs. So everything has to work right. We know that in the conference that you're in, and things are still going to change with these conferences. But I think we see that we have the coach to lead us there. And I think he sees that he can win here with this team. And I know national writers have written, well, he's got a better chance to win at LSU. I don't agree with that. I don't think that's true. I think he has a better chance to win here, or as good a chance to win here as he does at LSU. And I get it. They've won national championships more recently than A&M has. I get that. But A&M now has the right coach, is recruiting the right players. This is going to work, and eventually we're going to get our national championship. I know we all want it sooner than later.
They never point out that they fired two of those coaches that have won national championships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did.
That's
absolutely. That's right.
So what do you think what do you think about our colleagues in the media that routinely bring up that the almost the opinion that it seems to me that A&M that Jimbo should leave A&M for LSU?
Well, I think it's people that don't know A&M, don't understand it, and have no concept of what A&M has, from facilities to money to everything else. I mean, all you got to do is look at those USA facts that come out every year with the list of top athletic department fiscal values, and it's A&M and Texas 1 and 2, so they're great jobs. Now you got to figure out how to win there. It's obvious that neither school has done a good job of using that money to the best of their ability to put championship football teams on the field. But I do think that A&M now has found the right coach. And, I just think it's people who are ignorant of what A&M stands for, what A&M is about, and how much money A&M has to spend on what it wants, which is a national championship in football. People were stunned. Remember that when Jimbo left Florida State for A&M, and I'm just like, I thought all along during the season that he was going to be the choice, that he was going to accept the job, that he was going to come here. To me, A&M was a better job than Florida State. I think people tend to just look at schools that have won recent national championships and go, well, that's a better job. Well, that doesn't mean that it's a better job now. It means that they've won a national championship there. Why can't that coach win a national championship somewhere else? And I think Jimbo will.
Does that narrative not change until a national championship is won?
Oh, absolutely. I think that's exactly right. Maybe it starts to change if you win a conference title and don't win the national championship. But I think if you win the conference championship in the SEC, you're expected to win the national championship. We all think it's the best conference in the country in football. So, yeah, I agree with you, David. I think that's the only way that narrative does change. And I'm going to take just a victory over Alabama. We saw that in 2012. A&M beat Alabama in 2012, and it didn't change the narrative. The narrative was the same. And I remember it was either 2013 or 2014, I remember reading, Missouri has done so much more in the SEC. They're way better than A&M, blah, blah, blah. And look where we are now. No, Missouri was never better than A&M in the SEC, ever. They played in the East, which was horrible back then, which is the only reason they got to the championship games. So, yes, the only way the narrative changes is if you go out and win a national championship.
Yeah. So if I can change the subject for
Please,
just a minute.
All means.
So that other team that's a lot like A&M that you follow, where now I'm starting to hear that they're a Super Bowl caliber team. Are you buying into that, or are you pumping the brakes?
No, I'm buying into it, Olin. The problem comes in trying to get that first round bye, trying to get home field advantage in the playoffs. I mean, it's obvious, right, that they're going to win the NFC East. There's no question about that. They have their wins are as many as the rest of the division combined. They're going to win the NFC East, barring huge injury problems, COVID problems the rest of the way. The division is there. So now it's about getting that seeding, getting some home field games so you don't have to go play, say, at Tampa, at Green Bay, at the Rams, wherever, to get where you need to go. You need at least, a couple of home games there would be nice for them, and getting the first round bye, which only one team gets, would even be better. Now, having said all that, I do think there's a concern there with Dak Prescott. I do think that right calf is going to affect him 13 days from now. And you better make sure he's 100%. He's not going to further injure that thing. You don't need him 100% now. You need him 100% at the end of the season, into the playoffs, when it really matters. Because even if you don't get home field, you've got to have 100% Dak Prescott to have a chance. You saw that last year when you didn't have him in the lineup. Now, I think this team is better, and they're better able to weather a storm if they do lose Dak for a game or two or whatever it is. But you need him at 100% in the postseason more than you need him 100% for the Vikings on Sunday night. And you certainly don't need him aggravating that injury and making it worse. Let it heal. Let it get right. Get him back on the field once 100%. Now, I saw Troy Aikman said he has played with that before and thinks it'll be fine for a quarterback, but you need to make sure he's not going to re-injure that thing, and that he's able to protect himself and get outside the pocket, which is what makes Dak.
Shareen Williams with us here on the BCSI hotline. Shareen, one last thing on the Aggies. When you see the way they're playing, are they good enough to win out the rest of the way from what you've seen so far?
Yeah, and David, I remember you were the first one to say, when you look at their schedule, this is even when they were struggling and had the back-to-back losses. when you look at their schedule, other than Alabama, they're probably going to be favored in every game. Now, maybe they're not favored in the Ole Miss game. Have a chance to win that. Auburn have a chance to win that. Yes, I think they should probably win out, and if they do, it's going to be a very successful season. It's probably not the season that they wanted, that we wanted, that anybody else wanted coming into the year. We had higher expectations of getting to the playoffs and doing something there and winning the SEC title. But unfortunately, those 2 losses cost you early. But you can't do anything about those. You just got to go play out the rest of these games. And yes, they certainly have a chance to win the rest of these games based on the way they're playing now. I was very impressed that game. I did think there would be a hangover after the Alabama game, and they just came out the first quarter and it's 21-0. Well, there's no hangover here, and Jimbo had them focused and had them move on from that game to the next game, and that really impressed me because that was a trap game. That was one where you could eat the cheese, as Bill Parcells used to say, how great you are after the Alabama game and come out and struggle against Missouri. They didn't do that. They put that game away early. Very impressive, I thought, the way they played against an outmanned opponent. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what they did. They need to do that again this week. Come out, first quarter, take over, game's over. Let's enjoy the next 3 quarters and have a lot of fun at Kyle Field. So then you're going to have some tougher opponents, as you said, but certainly every game they play from now on is winnable, including whatever bowl game they get.
Shareen, let's get into the top 3 Aggies in the NFL from the past week. Let's start at number 3.
Number 3, we're going to go with Ricky Seals-Jones. Made a terrific 39-yard touchdown catch. It was a beauty. He finished with 4 catches for 58 yards and a touchdown. Amazed that this guy has bounced around really in the NFL like he has, because I think he's a darn good tight end. It has converted and really become a good tight end in the NFL. Number 2, we're going to go with Christian Kirk, only undefeated team in the NFL. The Cardinals are playing really well, have a lot of receiver options, but Christian Kirk is one of those receiver options who's played really well. 5 catches, 75 yards, had the first touchdown for the Cardinals in a big, big, big win over the Browns, which is why we're not picking Myles Garrett, who did have another sack, but they just got run over by that Cardinals team. And then number 1, it wasn't Ryan Tannehill's best game of the year last night, but that was a huge victory for the Titans over the Bills, who I thought were the best team in the AFC, and now I think it's probably the Ravens. But he just played well enough for them to win, and Derrick Henry went crazy. He passed for 216 yards, did have an interception, but he also ran for a touchdown, and I thought just handled everything really well there for the Titans, and then they got the win, which was a big one.
Shareen, great stuff as always. Talk to you next week.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate you very much. All right, guys, when we come back, we'll get to the A&B text line and the BCSI hotline. But right now, I want you guys to experience the difference with Caprock Health System, their patient-centered care. When I say right now, I want you to think about it. You don't need to go to the emergency room. By all means, don't go. But when you do go, know you're going to a good place, a safe place, and a place that's all about the Brazos Valley. 100% locally owned and operated here in the BV, and they provide the ability to put the patient first in every decision that they make. And they accept all types of insurances. Obviously, they're just they've got a partnership now with Blue Cross and Blue Shield. They also take several other ones out there as well. And you want to go there because they're going to make you feel better. You're not going to have to wait a long time. That's what they do. You go in there, and it's one of those places that not only does it just feel clean and safe, they're going to maintain that 0 wait time for emergency care. So you'll never have to sit in a crowded waiting room ever. The hospital and 24-hour ER maintain a clean and sterile, safe environment. You'll want to check them out. Caprock Hospital in Bryan and Caprock 24-hour Emergency Center in College Station. Go check it out. It is Caprock Health System.
The Bryan College Station Chamber of Commerce and title sponsor of the City of College Station invite you to our 2021 annual banquet at the Hilton College Station on November the 8th from 6 until 9 p.m. featuring a keynote address from Colonel Ross Gibb, Director of the Bush Combat Development Complex at Rellis. Join me, Glenn Brewer, your Chamber President, for an evening of celebration honoring our Citizen of the Year, Irma Cawley, Brazos County Commissioner, our Volunteer of the Year, Mary Mike Hatcher with Bryan Broadcasting, And your new Chamber of Commerce Board Chair, Wade Beckman, with Shipwreck Grill, Amico Nave, Third on Maid, and Admiral Catering. We will also be announcing this year's Chamber Ambassador of the Year. Join us for the Chamber of Commerce Annual Banquet on November the 8th. Tickets and table sponsorships are available. Visit bcschamber.org to reserve your spot. That's bcschamber.org.
Bryan Broadcasting is your home for high school football. Bryan High, A&M Consolidated, Rudder, and College Station High play on the Bryan Broadcasting family of stations. No matter where you are, hear every play, every game, all season long, thanks to Frost Bank, Ed Phillips Plumbing, Rapid Express Car Wash, and ASAP Equipment. To find out when and where to hear your favorite team, go to brazosfootball.com.
At United Roofing and Sheet Metal, we've got you covered inside and out.
Need help with your high wind or hail damage claims? Call Larry Winkler and the fine folks at United. United Roofing is your local, professional, family-owned business with over 40 years of service to the Brazos Valley. United is your insurance claims specialist, providing the most comprehensive full-system labor and material warranty in the roofing industry. Call United today at 268-ROOF.
This is ESPN Radio.
Henry Ruggs, the third Raiders wide receiver.
We just have a different mindset this year.
Bruce Arians, Tampa Bay Buccaneers head coach. How long did it take you to recover from the Super Bowl celebration?
First day of training camp.
You was going hard that long?
Oh, baby.
The legendary Joe Montana.
If it wasn't for the last concussion, I look back and kick myself for not playing another year or two.
The greatest return specialist and one of the best Bears, Devin Hester.
If I paid $100,000 to pick one person that you feel would make the Hall of Fame, I feel like my name would be mentioned a lot.
Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce.
Max Keyshawn. Jay, what's going on, fellas?
Coach of the Cincinnati Bearcats. Good morning, Coach Luke Fickell.
What's up, Luke?
I see someone's got a little energy over there. That's good.
Kevin Byard, all-pro safety for the Titans.
The mindset of this year's Super Bowl of bust.
Three-time Super Bowl champion Ty Law.
You only got 3 Super Bowls. You should be the one mad at Belichick.
Listen in to ESPN Radio, weeknights and weekends on Sports Radio, 1150 and 93.7 FM.
Hey guys, welcome back. TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. David and Julia do such a great job for the community. Anytime you go shop there, just know that you're actually helping out the community, because that's what they do. They help out everybody out there. They're at 911 University Drive East in College Station. They've got everything out there. You got to go by. They just finished the ring and season promotion, but I bet you if you go ask David for some questions out there, he'll help you out. He'll help you find the right ring if you're looking for one, whatever you may be looking for. So wedding band, stackable anniversary ring, whatever it is. David Gardner's Jewelers do the best job out there. All right, OB. In closing, I think you said you were satisfied 99.9.
Yeah.
Is that about the right?
Yeah. Because, again, like I said, the reporter in me hangs on certain words that were used and not, planning instead of will, right? But being around Jimbo as much as I have, understanding the way he talks, he just goes. I believe that the whole question of whether he would leave for LSU should be answered, and the answer is no, he would not.
Yeah, I was very satisfied. I think 99.9 is probably the best way to answer it, because, as you said earlier, you can't ever be 100%, but I'm as close to 100% as I can be. I had somebody tweet at me yesterday saying, until he leaves. This is not an until he leaves things. At least as things stand in this season, in this moment, knowing everything that they've gone through, everything they've built, he's extremely happy with every level.
And his wife is too.
She tweeted that yesterday. Yeah. And that goes a lot further than people think.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah. If you tell your wife, hey, we're moving to Baton Rouge, she's like, excuse me? You are? I'm not. Things change. And she's happy here. I think that says a lot. Let's go to the News and Social Center. A&B text line is popping. The BCSI hotline is popping. What do you got for us, Tori?
Yes, Jim and Tipple cannot agree with you guys anymore. He said, I heard Jimbo live on the radio yesterday afternoon. He couldn't be any more clear on where he wants to be, and that's Texas A&M. From his tone of voice, you could hear the irritation from the ignorant outsider Aggie naysayers in the national sports press, including Texas press, who've always been spreading that anti-Aggie narrative. which they've been doing before he came. He has big contract, added extensions, facilities, and resources second to none. 12th man Aggie Network. What other schools does this have to offer? Jimbo saw his opportunity, and in his 4th year, sees the endless potential here. As we top Texas and national recruits here, he's bringing here, and he's in it for the long haul.
By the way, one of those national media guys, somebody that I really respect, probably more than any others, Ivan Maisel.
Yeah.
And when A&M gave Jimbo the raise and extension, Ivan said, why would they do that? That's the most Aggie thing ever, right? Well, they were proactive and probably
saw
this coming.
Yeah.
And so, you know what? They did something really, really smart to lock down, we think, a championship caliber coach. Very brilliant move, which is the most Aggie thing there is. Making a brilliant move to.
And why do people get so mad about other people's money?
Yeah.
It's not your money. Like, if this university is blessed enough to do what we can do and build the facilities and pay the coaches what we want, the guy we want to have for 10 years, then we can do that.
And there are other universities that pay their coaches exorbitant amount. It's just
and buyouts. Hello.
Yeah, the buyout.
How much is Texas spending right now on their coaches?
I have no idea.
It's a lot. Yeah.
Because I really don't pay that much attention to Texas. I guess I'm going to have to start again, when they join the conference. But I just always looked at it, just they're the X that I don't care what is going on in her life.
I bring it up because if you're going to spend whatever the number is, I think it was like $18 million on assistant coaches,
Right.
Tom Herman, and what they're paying Sark. I think it's something like that. I might be wrong. Or you're going to spend $10 million a year on one of the top 5 coaches in college football. Which a better use of your money?
Yeah.
I think the Jimbo Fisher.
What would LSU have to pay to get rid of Ed and get? Man, they'd have to be at that hospital every day.
Every day.
What's that hospital where they're funneling the money? I can't remember that.
Our Lady of the Lake.
Our Lady of the Lake.
Yeah,
They'd be Our Lady at the Lake every day. They'd have a great suntan.
That is OB. Go hours done. Tom Hart coming up next on the SEC Network here on TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers.
Our publications reach every corner of the Brazos Valley, and we want to partner with you in sharing your message with the community. You may recognize a few of our Bryan Broadcasting publications.
Best of the Brazos Valley.
Brazos Life, the annual manual.
Welcome home, Brazos Valley.
Brazos Family. Brazos Wellness.
Brazos Valley Bride.
Peace, Brazos Christian Life.
With the combined power of 7 magazine titles, 11 radio stations, and digital solutions, Bryan Broadcasting Publications can help you be heard. Call 979-695-9595 to learn more.
Shop local, buy local, save big deals.
It's not every day you can save money. Oh, wait, you can. Hi, Jenny here from Big Deals. When you shop Big Deals, you'll save money every day on dozens of gift certificates from local businesses like these.
Howdy's Pizza, BCS Tire Pros, Cotton and Oak Home in Style, Cilantro Mexican Grill, and more. Visit AggielandBigDeals.com to save big. AggielandBigDeals.com.
Listen to Texas A&M football, Texas A&M basketball, or Texas A&M baseball on your smart speaker. Just say play Sun 1150 to hear your favorite team. This is KZNE College Station Bryan, Aggieland's home for sports.
From WTAW, I'm Chelsea Reber with a news update on the zone. College Station police arrested 2 drivers for DWI at the same location. One is accused of driving an SUV in the wrong lane, then striking a guardrail Sunday at 3:30 in the morning. The second driver was arrested after his pickup struck a College Station Fire Department engine that was blocking the road to protect those in the first crash. CSFD reports the engine from Station 4 is still in service after sustaining minor trim and paint damage. Bryan police responded Saturday morning to a report of a person being attacked by a dangerous dog. A BPD spokesman says the person who was attacked was not injured. A friend of the person who was attacked shot both dogs. One dog died and the other was taken by the dog's owner to a vet. College Station ISD school board members are being asked tonight to raise pay for substitute teachers, paraprofessionals, and bus drivers.
CSISD Chief Financial Officer Amy Drons wrote a memo that stated campuses have had to be creative to cover classes when a substitute cannot be found. Drons says students are moving to other classrooms, teachers are giving up free periods, and campus administrators are covering. Administrators are proposing a pay increase of $5 in the daily rate for subs and paras. If the sub has an assignment from 10 to 21 days, the raise would be $10 a day. If approved, pay raises for subs and paras start November 1st. A proposed raise for bus drivers of 50 cents an hour would start January 1st. The additional expense is $191,000. Bill Oliver, 1620 94.5 WTAW.
For the first time in 4 years, Texas Monthly Magazine has released a top 50 list of the state's best barbecue. They ranked Snow's 9th. Among those ranked between 11th and 50th in no particular order were LJ's in Brenham, Brett's in Rockdale, and Mimsey's in Crockett. The next 50, again in no particular order, included 1775 between College Station and Snook, Fargo's in Bryan, and Blue Moon west of Normandy. I'm Chelsea Reber on The Zone.
Howdy, y'all. This is Cullen Gillespie, former 12th man. I've always tried to help my team on and off the field. And now I'd like to help Texas A&M fans like you cut their electricity bills in half. Yep, in half. It takes less than 5 minutes and you'll save hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars every year. 90% of Texans overpay for electricity, so don't be one of them. Sign up today at energyogre.com and use code GILLY, G-I-L-L-Y, for a free month of service.
Howdy, Ags. This is Dr. Krishna Shanmugam from BCS Eye Associates. I'm a fellowship-trained cornea and glaucoma specialist and eye surgeon, but most importantly, fighting Texas Aggie class of 2007. I was born in Aggie, raised in Aggie, and now back in the Brazos Valley to serve Aggieland, the incredible place that made me the person that I am today. We're the only fellowship-trained glaucoma, cornea, and cataract surgeon in town, and would be delighted to take care of you locally for your eye exam and your eye surgery needs. Give us a call to schedule an appointment today with Dr. K at BCS Eye Associates at 979-701-2020 or visit mybcsi.com.
Good morning, sports fans. I'm Zach Taylor with your Aggie Sports Minute on The Zone. This Sports Minute is brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. Call 936-825-0500 or click hilcosupply.com. Rumors abound following the announcement that LSU football coach Ed Orgeron would be stepping down after this season. Now, one of the stories is that Texas A&M head man Jimbo Fisher is on the Tigers' short list of replacements. Fisher put those rumors to rest at yesterday's media day.
I really believe we're on the process of building something great. I plan on being here and fulfilling this contract and doing everything. My family has roots here. I got ranches here. I hunt here. I love everything about this place.
Fisher, of course, was lured to A&M by good friend and former Aggie AD Scott Woodward, who's now at LSU. Jimbo is 31-12 in 3+ seasons in Aggieland and recently signed a 10-year extension worth $95 million. Aggie soccer is looking to get back in the win column this Thursday as it visits Mississippi State. For a preview, tune into the Aggie Soccer Hour with Coach G tonight from 6 to 7 on Gospel 97.3 FM. Zoe Slaughter tied the lowest round in women's golf program history yesterday, shooting an 8 under 64 at the Jim West Challenge in San Marcos. Slaughter finished tied for 13th place, while the Aggies placed 6th in the team standings. And the women's tennis duo of J.C. Goldsmith and Tatiana Makarova fell in the championship match of the ITA Texas Regional in Fort Worth. And that's been your Aggie Sports Minute, brought to you by Hilco Metal Roofing and Supply. On The Zone, I'm Zach Taylor.
The best is yet to come in College Station.
2 seconds left. 28-yard attempt by Seth Small. Is down. It is up. And the fighting Texas Aggies take down the top-ranked Tide.
Join us Saturday. The Aggies host the South Carolina Gamecocks. Our coverage begins at 5:30 on your home for Aggies football, the Texas A&M Sports Network.
Listen to Aggie football on 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. Online at radioaggieland.com or tell your smart speaker to play Zone 1150.
All right, welcome back. TexAgs Radio with the worst song ever. So bad. It's wedding music. God. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. A&M South Carolina this weekend. The SEC Network's got it. Our good buddy Tom Hart joining us here on the BCSI hotline. Good morning to you, Tom.
I missed it. What song was it? And what does it take to qualify as the worst song ever?
It's just how I feel at that moment, to be honest with you. And at that moment, I felt that song did not fit the vibe of this show. So part of our show runs on YouTube, the first hour and a half of it.
Yeah.
So we can't put like jams sometimes. So it's just whatever YouTube has, we kind of run with it. And that one, I feel like it's like a wedding or a funeral or both.
Elevator music is designed to get people off the elevator. If they played great jams in the elevator, we wouldn't leave. We'd miss all of our meetings. We'd just be going up and down.
That's right, my friend. So speaking up and down, it's been an up and down year for this terrible segue. I apologize. But
that was so good. It was right in your lap.
It was like a dad joke, which I've become very good at. What did you think of Jimbo's presser yesterday?
I loved it. I mean, it was perfect. If you're an Aggie, it's exactly what you want to hear. Let's put some context to it, though. What he said, and assuming he meant it, because why wouldn't he? I saw a tweet. Somebody said, well, this is, I think it was Colin Cowherd, said, this is how you handle it. This is how every coach should handle it. Well, not every coach has everything they want in their current job. The grass is greener because sometimes the grass is greener, right? He checked off everything that he has that he loves, from the top of the administration to the AD to the facilities, right? Well, most coaches are in a scenario where they're like, I got a good AD, not sure about the president. Got a good chancellor, not sure about the AD. Got a good chancellor, president, whatever. AD, our facilities aren't great. I'm not getting the support I need. There's something missing at nearly every job. You could I'm sure we could do this on one hand, very unscientifically. Who has everything that they want in terms of building a winner right now in college football? Nick Saban, Dabo Swinney, Jimbo Fisher. I think that's about it. I think Lincoln Riley wants for facilities. Ryan Day's probably got everything that he wants, right? I mean, we're talking about 4 or 5 programs in the country where the head coach can stand up there with a straight face and honestly say, I have everything that I want and need right here. And that's not to mention the personal stuff, the ranch, the property, the foundation, and that support. But when it comes to winning football games, great population to draw from and recruit from, fantastic stadium and elite facilities, money to pay your coaching staff and your coordinators, there's not much to want for. And so I thought he made points that were relevant. But the reason you don't hear that from other coaches that are in the same situation is because they can't say that with a straight face and mean it, because they always need something more, or if they're high maintenance, they just want something more. So I thought it was fantastic.
Do you buy some of the reports out there that say that LSU wasn't interested in Jimbo, or is it they kind of understand that he's not a candidate and that's why they're not interested in Jimbo?
I think the second part of your comment's probably more likely. Scott Woodward put the deal together, right? And he's great friends with them, and he knows every word in that contract. So he knows that he could get him, but he also knows the second part of it, which is what Jimbo outlined in the press conference, which is I can't draw him here. It's 2 things. I think LSU is a great program and it's a really good job, but look how they just treated a national championship coach and the limitations that he had on bringing in a staff. If Ed Ogeron had a blank checkbook to bring in coordinators like Jimbo has, he'd still have a job right now. I mean, with all due respect to the guys who are there and who have come through the last couple of years since their national championship, after Dave Aranda left for Baylor and Joe Brady left for the NFL, if he had an open checkbook, they would still have been hard to replace, but he would have gotten closer to that level of coordinator. That was the beginning of the end. That was the downfall for LSU. Yes, you lost a Heisman Trophy winner at quarterback, and you lost 3 first-round wide receivers, and you lost an NFL running back and an NFL tight end. Sorry, my puppy is just running crazy. But you have to be able to pay for coordinators, and he had handcuffs on him.
Hey, let's talk a little bit about where LSU goes from here. Is it the Mel Tuckers of the world? How do you think they go?
Yeah, I think they have a lot of different possibilities. Mel Tucker's at the top of the list from what I've been told. That's a Michigan State 7-0, They got to win against Miami. I just think that's a soft 7-0. The Big Ten has been very competitive this season. I mean, look at what Purdue did to Iowa. Where Michigan State finishes is going to dictate how much of a candidate he is at the end of the year. I think this is the perfect job, by the way, for folks like Lincoln Riley to use it as leverage. I don't know that Lincoln Riley would be smart to leave Oklahoma for LSU, but he knows they're coming into the Big 12, coming into the SEC. He knows that the facilities and the support that he has in the Big 12 is going to have to change to be competitive in the SEC, whether that's the West, East, Pod B, whatever it is. Like they're going to have to step it up a little bit because you're coming into a league where the top half are big spenders. So whether or not Lincoln Riley's interested in it or just interested in using that for leverage, I think is an interesting question. Lane Kiffin would be right up Lane Kiffin's alley to stay in the division and take that job. I think that's probably a long shot because they want to win, but they also don't want a lot of distractions. Not that anything that happened at our game Saturday night was Lane Kiffin's fault. Don't get me wrong. That was all the fault of likely inebriated Tennessee students. But, that's a really – Kiffin to me is going to be the wild card because I think they got a lot more wins the rest of this year. I know talking directly with Ole Miss administration that they know that he's a flight risk. And they're okay with that in the sense that they're going to do everything they can to keep him. But they also know, like, let's say, for example, Miami. Let's say Lane Kiffin leaves Oxford, Mississippi for Miami. It's because Lane Kiffin wants to be in Miami, right? So you can't compete with that. And you just have to say thanks. Thanks for selling a lot of tickets and driving up the interest, and we'll try to be better in our next hire. But that's the price you pay if you're Ole Miss for being successful.
Tom Hart here with us on the BCSI hotline. I do want to get into that Tennessee game you were at this past weekend, but just I tried asking to Marvin Leal yesterday about the roller coaster season A&M has had. He just talked about it being the SEC, but when you look at the season A&M has with what they thought was going to be their 11 on offense and to what it is now, the ups and downs with Calzada, the victory over Alabama, how would you describe the way this year has gone?
Well, he's right in a sense that it is life in the SEC, and you have to deal with injuries and inconsistencies. The scary part about college football is one game, one loss can lead to a second loss. And I think if you go back and look at that Arkansas game, what role did in Arkansas has struggled since then because they're playing in the SEC, right? I don't think Arkansas is any worse team than they were on September 25th. It's just that you play really good competition week in and week out. So he's right. The other part of that is that everybody's dealing with injuries. Everybody's dealing with a tough schedule and the ups and downs of it. To me, in the SEC, it's not just who you play, but it's when you play them, right? I think A&M would much rather have Arkansas right now. Okay, so you play Arkansas this week, then State to follow. Do you lose the Mississippi State game? I don't know. I mean, you're held to 32 points over a 2-game period. If you can play Arkansas now, you're probably scoring more points, probably hitting on better cylinders when Mississippi State comes to town. It's a crapshoot, David. I mean, it's every game matters, and week to week, everything changes.
You excited about this game here in Kyle Field? I know you've been here before. You love being out. You were here this season, obviously. Just your thoughts about this game against South Carolina.
Yeah, I'm excited. South Carolina is not a headline team right now. Shane Beamer's got to get some time to build it, but they're a great story. I mean, they've got a 24-year-old graduate assistant quarterback who came off the bench cold and led them to a win the other day. I mean, it was amazing. Zeb Nolan went to Iowa State, went to North Dakota State, and then ends up at South Carolina, and he thinks he's just going to be in the room drawing up plays in the greaseboard working with quarterbacks, and next thing you know, he's on the field and playing. It's a story I think only college football could bring us. I don't think South Carolina has the firepower to hang around. I think this could be a very comfortable win for A&M, the kind that they need just to, kind of building off the Missouri win. it's going to be very similar, I think. And you take that into a bye week and then some very important games with Auburn and Ole Miss being back to back. It'll be a nice little 2-week stretch for guys who like to run the football out of that A&M backfield.
All right, Tom. So give me your perspective of that Tennessee game. Obviously, I love the social media clip I saw beforehand with the Mannings talk. That was great. But just being there for the craziness, the chaos as you're watching it unfold, what are you thinking?
Quite frankly, I thought it was stupid. And it doesn't happen all the time. Tennessee fans trying to justify it, or they just look even more ignorant. That there are certain places that would never, ever, ever happen, right? I mean, that's not happening at Kyle Field. I mean, it's just a fact. That's not going to happen. But there's a reason that doesn't happen. Like it's stupid. I've seen your arm. Okay, if you try to throw a water bottle full of dip spit from row 45, you might hit your fraternity brother in the back of the head with it in row 25. All right. So what are we doing throwing it on the field? I've never, ever seen the cheerleaders, the dance team, and the band have to evacuate the field. And all of that to be said, Tennessee was still in the game. They got the ball back with 3 timeouts. They got a punt return to midfield. They had multiple shots in the end zone to win the thing. How would you feel if you were one of the 5,000 or whatever it was, 10,000 students that got kicked out of the game or got arrested and you missed that comeback? So I was disappointed not only in the actions of primarily students in that situation, but then the Tennessee fan base to try to defend them. And by the way, officiating is never perfect, but the spot that everyone was so upset about was the right spot.
Tom Hart here with us on TexAgs Radio. Tom, Ole Miss is a team that I haven't figured out yet. And what I mean by that is obviously I know they can score. Some weeks I think maybe they do have a defense, especially early on. But are they as good as advertised other than the Alabama game? Because they do find ways to win games.
Yes, when and if Matt Corral is healthy. Lane's sending out some smoke signals. He may or may not be healthy, but the guy can do everything. Matt Corral is a legit Heisman candidate. They took away the passing game. He is without his 2 best wide receivers and his starting tight end. That was the case Saturday night. So he said, screw it, I'll just run it. And he carried it 33 times. And I think he had 200 yards, maybe right on the dot, or 195. So Corral is legit. They are really banged up right now, and they've got to get some of those offensive weapons back. But they're in good shape, and the defense is much, much better than they were last year. They had to get better. They're running that old school or the new school, really, Iowa State defense, and with 6 defensive backs, and they know how to run it. They've done a good job.
How about Bama? Obviously, I think most people expected them to get right back on track, doing what Nick Saban always does off a loss. But when you see the season that Bryce Young is having, and even some of the criticism he's gotten with these amazing numbers as a first-year starter, just do you think they are back on track for the rest of the way?
Yeah, I think so. But then again, it wasn't outlandish to think that this Alabama team was going to have a hard time getting going again this season because of everything they lost, and that they would maybe suffer a loss during the regular season, maybe even 2. And part of that was the maturation of Bryce Young. He's a great quarterback. He's wise beyond his years, but it takes a little bit when you get thrown into the fire. So you're playing in front of 107,000 at Kyle Field. That's a tough place to play. But I don't doubt Nick Saban. I don't doubt the process that he has in place.
My friend, I got one last one for you, and I got to ask because it happened in Austin. The way this season has gone for Sark and the University of Texas, they host Oklahoma State, who I wasn't sure was that good, but that comeback in the second half and the way Texas has kind of really fizzled out at the end of these games. Just your thoughts on how things unfolded there in Austin.
I didn't get a chance to watch that game, but there's a reason. Say hi. There's a reason you have a coaching change, right? And when you take over a program that lets its coach go, no matter how easy it may seem or simple it may seem, it never is. And so it's about changing the culture and getting the right frame of mind, top to bottom in your organization. And so you're going to have losses like that. You can't just flip the switch in college football and go from, we fired our coach to elite. So the growth will have to continue down there.
Tom Hart here with us. Thanks so much, my friend. Catch up with you next week.
Yeah, man. Looking forward to getting there. Thanks, bud.
Yes, sir. Take care. We'll see him here on Saturday on the SEC Network. All right. Right now, I want to talk about Chance McClain and Heritage Films. Love those guys. Everything that they do for us. YourHeritageFilm.com is the website. And you've got a story. You who are listening right now in your car, driving around town, you in your office, your little cubicle, you at home cleaning up. You all have a story. I don't care how old you are, and your family has a story. The origin story, like an X-Men movie, right? Like we all have it. And that's why you all need to talk to Chance McClain and Heritage Films, because they can capture your life in video. And I'm talking the kind of video that like you're going to share with your family. You'll be like, look at this. Like we legit know a Hollywood producer. No, Chance isn't that. Yes, he's made Hollywood movies, and yes, he's done documentaries, and yes, he's done Broadway, and yes, he's done radio stations and whatnot, and yes, he's the most creative guy I know. All that to yes, but he can do that for you, and it's a real easy 2-month process. You say, well, 2 months, it's easy for you. You sit, you answer. Your dad sits, he answers questions. They bring the lights, they bring the crew, they bring it all, and they'll get it for you in 8 to 10 weeks. He's a slave to the process, and he does such a wonderful job. Check out YourHeritageFilm.com, YourHeritageFilm.com, 713-893-8341.
Your home for the Houston Texans is Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. This is The Zone.
Since 1957, Slovakic Sausage in Snook has been making the best tasting sausage in Texas from the same family recipe. Slovakic is the official sausage of Texas A&M Athletics. Whether it's from the grill to the family gathering or from the pit to the neighborhood party, serve the sausage voted best in the Brazos Valley. Serve Slovakic. Be sure to come in and check out their full-service meat market, relax on the front porch, or grab some fresh kolaches from their bakery on your way out. Slovakic Sausage, Highway 60 in Snook.
At United Roofing and Sheet Metal, we've got you covered inside and out.
Need help with your high wind or hail damage claims? Call Larry Winkler and the fine folks at United. United Roofing is your local, professional, family-owned business with over 40 years of service to the Brazos Valley. United is your insurance claims specialist, providing the most comprehensive full-system labor and material warranty in the roofing industry. Call United today at 268-ROOF.
The flagship station for Aggie Athletics is The Zone. Whenever the Aggies are playing, you can hear them right here at 1150 and 93.7 FM. Thanks to our listeners and our Aggie broadcast sponsors, Pioneer Steel, Gulf States Toyota, and Amarillo National Bank. Here's a big gig-em to all these sponsors. Listen to Aggie Athletics on The Zone 1150 and 93.7 FM.
AggielandBigDeals.com. Shop local, buy local, save big. I'm struggling, can't pay full price. How about Aggieland Big Deals? Yeah, that's right. I'll be shopping local and saving big with discounts up to 30% on food, clothes, and car repair, or even entertainment and personal care. Is it really gonna be convenient though? Just download the app right on your phone. Oh man, that's slick. Now I'm all in. Those digital certificates are fun to spend. Plus I can print and send gifts along at AggielandBigDeals.com.
The Bellucci Hour Happy Hour is a must part of any Aggie football season. Join Billy Lucci of TexAgs and Zach Taylor, the Infomaniac, every Monday and Thursday at 6 at the Tap, or listen in right here on Sports Radio 1150 AM and 93.7 FM. The Bellucci Hour Happy Hour every Monday, Thursday at 6 is brought to you by King Ranch Saddle Shop. Also brought to you in part by B&B Automotive. It's the Bellucci Hour Happy Hour.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Howie Long joining us this morning on Keyshawn, J. Will.
Howie Long, son.
Kyle Long joining us this morning on the morning.
Thank you, Michael Thomas. It's all in the family.
Hey, when I was on the podcast the other day, and I said, Kyle, you didn't even say anything. You were just like, I know in your mind, you probably was like, this dummy.
Spend your mornings with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, powered by WC Tractor. Mornings from 5 to 8 here on The Zone.
Welcome back, TexAgs Radio. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We are here in the Rollo Insurance Studio, having a good old time breaking things down here as we get closer to the South Carolina game. I did want to bring this up because I found it on Twitter yesterday, and I was like, really? This is a talking point out there? So apparently during Nick Saban's press conference, I guess yesterday, he showed his arm. He's got a golf ball-sized bruise on his left forearm. He says that he got from when A&M fans rushed the field. Now, I don't have the exact quote on me, but I guess here it is from Sideline Bam. It says, I can always just look at this as a reminder of what it feels like to be in that situation and motivate myself to try to do a better job with our players. So, still talking about the crowd and the crowd control and the way the whole thing happened there at Kyle Field. So a gentleman by the name of Tyler Smith on Twitter actually shows the video where it looks like Nick hurt his arm, and it doesn't look like a fan doing it. It looks like maybe he kind of tripped a little bit with the officer who was escorting him, and yeah, it was because of the crowd, but it doesn't look like anybody ran into him or anything like that. So just found that interesting out there as, Nick will use anything as motivation, and that loss really stung, guys. That loss really stung. So from an Alabama perspective, you want that to stick around and linger in your head. From an A&M perspective, if you're a player or a coach, you're so far removed from that moment. You have gone way far beyond that. And it's just interesting because it's not very often you see Nick Saban in that kind of position to where he feels slighted. He also doesn't think his team came ready to play. They came ready to play. That game's 2 weeks ago. I'm moving on from it, but I just found it interesting that he was able to show this little bruise he got. And man, I've had some bruises in my lifetime, but 2 weeks later, I don't know. It's just not 2 weeks, but how long has it been? 10 days? I guess, yeah, things happen. And I know older folks, my dad bruises very easily. I get it. But that just seemed more not from people per se, although the lady in the video who got trucked there by the officer, poor thing there. As I mentioned to you guys at the top of the show, our topic today, and a lot of you have had some great responses, how satisfied were you with Jimbo's press conference? And I haven't seen any that are really unsatisfied. Everybody has been very, very satisfied on it. David in Temple says, on the scale of my satisfaction, I personally rank it as a 10. TexAgs discussion of the pontification is a 10. Shareen Williams, spot on. Tom, postcards from Dimebox Heart, spot on from somebody outside the family. That is coming in from David in Temple. Cody sends in, what about the girl who was just about clotheslined by Saban security detail that was rushing him off the field while his players were able to calmly walk off the field? Yep. But I get it. Look, if you're part of the group that runs in, it doesn't feel as unsafe as it feels when you're on the field seeing the masses come at you. It can be scary, and especially if you're on an opposing team on their field, right? Like that, I get it. It is a scary, scary situation. So I understand running out. I absolutely do. Also, Saban's bruise is probably from how hard the police escort was squeezing his arm. He had more protection than Bryce Young had all day. That is from Ryan in Corpus Christi. That might be part of it as well. Look, the rushing of the field certainly is why they reacted the way they did. So, I'm not, but it was very peaceful celebration. But I understand being scared in that environment. You're just trying to get out. I saw A&M staffers trying to get out of there. It's scary. A lot of people coming out there. You don't know how people are going to respond. So I 100% get all of that without a doubt. It is a scary, scary thing. Jim in Temple. I heard Jimbo live on radio yesterday afternoon. He couldn't be any more clear. He wants to be here. And I agree. He does want to be here. And I think that story, after today's show, we just move on from it. It is done. He said what he had to say. And I like the Alabama game, like the game this past weekend against Missouri. We're moving on from it because he absolutely was emphatic in his love for Texas A&M, and I went through all the things that he said just in that opening minute. You can't have that many things. I love this job. I don't think I can come up with 12 things in a 1 minute thing about what I love about it. All right, let's see if I can try. I really like Dalton. I think with Billy Lucci, Brandon Jones, and Josh, and Hunter, they're all great. Okay, I'm up to 5 now. I like the studio a lot. It's great. Richard Zane's pretty cool too. I think I'm out.
You lost me on the last one.
I think he's pretty cool. I didn't say I loved him.
Okay.
You know, like I like my apartment that, 6 of us are living in. That's great, even though it's not. Like I can't, and I love this job. I don't think I could have gone on a rant as good as Jimbo. I'm trying here. I love it here. Hey, David, the SEC Network's trying to hire you. Are you linked to a job there? Look, I couldn't be more happy here at TexAgs. It is the most wonderful place I've ever worked at. We have a wonderful executive editor / co-owner in Billy Lucci, who does a lot of great things. Brandon Jones, the CEO, has been phenomenal for me. Dalton, who is like our director, executive producer, and man about town. He cuts me down sometimes and makes fun of my outfits, but he's a pretty good guy overall. Yeah, that's it. I'm done. I love Kyle Field. I'll talk about, my ranch. I love my little apartment. Got nothing for you guys. So Jimbo handled that exactly the way it should have been handled. All right, when we come back here on the program, Andrew Monaco will be here in studio. We'll chit-chat with him a little bit about how all things went this past weekend against Missouri. We're looking forward to that. But right now, I want to remind you to text radio to 1-833-638-6248. That is 833-638-6248 for your chance to win the Big Friday giveaway. And that is courtesy of our friends at Aggieland Outfitters. We will unveil the winner during the 10 o'clock hour of Friday's show. And this week, it is the Texas A&M Champion White on White. I love white on white. Power Blend crew neck. Comfortable. It's got the fleece lined crew neck. Perfect for the cool days here. If you ask Tori, it's like 12 degrees outside. But it is a little chillier than it used to be, and it's perfect for that. It's got a sweatshirt featuring Aggies embroidered in the white felt across the chest, while the Champion logo is featured on the wrist of that sleeve. And it's just a beautiful piece of clothing, very comfortable, and will keep you warm. You can get the Texas A&M Champion White on White Power Blend crew neck valued at $49.99. You get that at Aggieland Outfitters.
I'm Chelsea Reber with your community calendar on the Zone. The Twin Oaks Landfill Household Hazardous Waste and Computer Collection event is Saturday, October 30th at the Texas A&M University Service Building next to Veterans Park. Visit twinoakshhw.com for complete details. You and your family are invited to a spooktacular Walk for a Cure on Saturday, October 30th, benefiting a local child. The fundraiser starts at 9 a.m. at Castlegate. Find the Spooktacular Walk on Facebook for more information. Sponsor a flag for $50 in the Bryan Rotary Field of Valor, a 1,000 flag salute to service on display at Veterans Park this November. Visit bryan-rotary.org to reserve a flag. Listen to the Astros postseason run on Sports Radio 1150 AM 93.7 FM and select games on Gospel 97.3 FM thanks to Kelly Burt Dozer. You can hear the Astros on the Zone and Gospel 97.3 FM. I'm Chelsea Reber on the Zone.
The small Texas town of Llano is where it all began. The Wooten family created Cooper's old-time pit barbecues, mouth-watering recipes, and cowboy-style cooked barbecue. Decades later, you can still get the same great recipes, cooked exactly the same way by the same family, right here in College Station. Dine in, curbside pickup, or catered. Experience the taste of locally Aggie-owned, nationally recognized Cooper's old-time pit barbecue. Voted best barbecue in the Brazos Valley and proud supporter of Texas A&M athletics.
Hey parents, when it comes to your child's education, there's a lot to consider. No matter what you're searching for, search the Bryan Broadcasting half-price tuition program first. We've partnered with schools and learning centers throughout the area to get your students started with high-quality programs at half price. Right now, we're featuring half-price tuitions at Happy Camper School, Multilingual Academy, Southwood Learning Center, Kitty Castle, and more. Half-price tuitions are first come, first served, and availability is limited. Go to halfpricebrazos.com.
Here's Brad Beard of Intercon. Replacement windows, like other major purchase items, will at some time in the future need service, whether warranty or not. If you purchase your replacement windows from Intercon, you'll just phone our local number and we'll take care of your issue in a prompt and professional way. Every one of Intercon's personnel who answer the phone will know how to involve the right people to find a solution. With Intercon, you won't spend hours manipulating through an automated phone tree. If you consider purchasing your replacement windows from another window source, a good exercise would be to call the service department of the other company. You might come away thinking it'd be better to put your trust in a local company with a solid and well-established reputation. Ask your friends and colleagues about the customer experience they had with Intercon. We are proud of our track record and our commitment to long-term customer service. Trust Intercon, a family-owned local business, with all of your window needs.
Whether you have new construction or an existing home, let the fine folks from Intercon help your home energy efficiency year-round. Call Brad Beard of Intercon today at 823-3639. That's 823-3639.
This is the Zone 1150 and 93.7.